Welcome back, everyone, to the video. Today we are back from the NFL video, continuing our player prediction series. This time, talk about Mac Jones. Now, we are over halfway done with this series, and when we are done, we will be doing a team prediction series, going over each individual team more in depth, talking about offense, defense, offensive coaching, defensive coaching, head coach, schedule, all that kind of stuff. So it'll be a lot more in depth. So right here, like I said, we're just kind of sticking to just Mac Jones for this player prediction series. Now, I do want to address a couple things. I've kind of, done, I guess, kind of the math of like how many days I have till season starts and how many teams I have to do and how many more players I have to do. And then also incorporating Madden coming out Madden 15th. I might have to do like some days with double uploads, so just be on the lookout for that because sometimes it just doesn't notify any subscribers and stuff. So I might do like, and I'll let you guys know if I'm doing a morning video and an afternoon video that I'll upload later at night. So it'll be like 2 players a day, and then that should balance it out so that we get it all done for the season. But today we're talking about Mac Jones, and so Mac Jones finished the season with 2,997 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, and it was definitely a step back from his rookie year. Now, the only thing with that, though, is that there are a lot of things that go into why these stats are the way that they are. And so I do want to get into just this right here, which is his full game log. We're going to zoom in just so you guys can see. Now, Mac Jones' best game all year came against the Vikings. I believe it was a Thursday night game. Yeah, it looks like it was Thursday. And it was... He threw for 382 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. That was his most yards. He took care of the ball. They kept short, but it was still a great game. And that was probably his best against other teams. It's clear he did struggle, like 3 interceptions against the Bills, another 3 interceptions against the Ravens. And while those are good defenses, it's still, most interceptions he had in a single game. Otherwise, it was just one. And like I said, there's a lot of things that go into this that we're going to get into in just a second. But, like, overall, I don't think it's as bad as it looks on paper. I think what is worse is actually, like, watching it happen, which is funny because a lot of times the stats make it look worse than what it really is. But in my opinion, I think the stats honestly might help him out a little bit because when you watched it, it looked like the Patriots offense could not move at all. And that is what I want to talk about right now because the first half of this video will basically be going over last season, a short recap, and then, of course, the second half going over this season and then kind of predicting what Mac Jones can really do with the changes. Now, last year, it is no mystery that the play calling was horrible. And when I mean horrible, I mean you run the ball 2 times in a row and then throw a screen on 3rd and 9 and then you punt the ball away. I mean, it was so bad. Which is crazy because, they had playmakers. They didn't have, like, these crazy weapons. But Ramondre Stevenson, I mean, he's a weapon. He's a very, very good player. And he did do well himself. But, I mean, when you have a weapon like that, you got to utilize him more than what you did than just running the ball, throwing a screen. I mean, you got to pass the ball more. I mean, find ways to get that guy open. If he's your best player, then he's your best player. But at least make it so that you're actually using him properly. And the Patriots offense just looked dysfunctional. And a lot of that does fall on the coaching. Now, that's, of course, changed with Matt Patricia being gone as the offensive coordinator, which is good since he's, I guess, I think he was a defensive coordinator before than a head coach. So, like, I'm not sure why he was doing that. And so, while the coaching does deserve a lot of blame, some of it does fall on Mac Jones. And, again, I know Patriots fans are not going to like to hear that, but just hear me out for a second that while Mac Jones did have some plays where he just made really bad reads, where he just didn't read the defense correctly. He was fairly accurate, I think, when it came to deep passes, but they just didn't do it very often, so it never really showed. And I think it had to result in a lot of checkdowns, the way the offense was ran. And so Mac Jones did have his fair share of bad plays, of interceptions, or fumbles, or maybe a bad pocket presence. But you also have to think that a lot of the things that does fall on him also comes from his confidence being completely wrecked from a very respectable rookie year to now probably feeling like you have no idea what you're doing in this offense that makes no sense. And it wasn't just Mac Jones that looked lost. It was like kind of all over. It was all so uncoordinated together. Now, that should all change this year, and I think the Patriots offense is actually going to be a lot better this year. Just from coaching being gone alone, even if Mac Jones plays the same way he did last year, just the coaching problem out of the way, it's already going to be huge for him. But again, so that's really all I have to say about last year, and I think it's a lot of things people knew that just the coaching, or if maybe you didn't know, maybe cut Mac Jones a little bit of slack because that coaching is bad. I've done my fair share of making fun of Mac Jones because I make fun of everybody, okay? As far as NFL players go, it's just, I got to make jokes at everybody here. But Mac Jones, I think, in all seriousness, doesn't deserve all the hate because he did not have a lot to work with. Not to mention, the wide receivers were not the best across the league. I mean, you had Devontae Parker. I actually had him in fantasy, who had, I think, maybe one good game, maybe two. Otherwise, it wasn't very consistent. But you did make changes, and that's what I want to talk about right now. So, Mac Jones, going into this year, he needs to be able to flush all of what just happened away, start over, kind of just, I would even forget rookie season, honestly, because you're having a new coach anyway. You have new weapons. Just forget all of that. Just try and start over. Get rid of all the, I don't know, probably whatever he's dealing with mentally from having a horrible year and horrible coaching and lack of confidence. Because now going into this year, you have a lot more to work with, and that's what I want to talk about next. So the Patriots depth chart as of right now. So you have Mac Jones, Ramondre Stevenson, Juju, Devontae Parker, and Tyquan Thornton, and Hunter Henry as all of your starters. And then you also went out and you got Mike Gesicki in free agency. So I'm actually a fan of this. I'm not sure how I felt at first with them bringing in Juju Smith-Schuster, because he just kind of fell off after the Steelers, really when he was still on the Steelers. He goes to the Chiefs, and he plays pretty solid, but you have Patrick Mahomes throwing you the ball, so I think that also helps make your life a lot easier as well. So I was very hesitant him going to the Patriots and like how it's going to fit in, if he's really going to be a weapon. But honestly, Juju is not a bad receiver, and if he's able to stay healthy, I think he is an upgrade from like the Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, and other guy, I can't remember who it was, that they had as their wide receiver core. I think this is much better. Again, Devontae Parker, he does struggle with injuries, and I'm not really sure what the season is going to look like for him. But I would have more hope in Juju and Tyquan Thornton, the second-year player, I believe, or maybe it's third now. I'm not even sure. Time flies anymore. No, he's definitely second year, because I did a Madden video on him last year. But he's a second-year player. He's insanely fast. He had, I think, a pretty solid preseason last year, but I don't think he did a whole lot during the season. But now being a starter and with that speed and with a new offense, I would hope they use him more in like some, sweeps and some tosses, kind of out of the backfield. Kind of like a Deebo Samuel type, but maybe just not as dynamic, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, he's a second-year player. I guess we'll have to see how that all works out. But I do like this a lot more. Hunter Henry is a good tight end, and he and Mac Jones actually had, I think, pretty good chemistry his rookie year. But again, last year, everything just really fell apart. Mike Gesicki, great tight end. So Hunter Henry happens to go down. Mike Gesicki's right there. I think you're really, honestly, looking really good at tight end. I honestly don't know how to say his last name. Kayshawn, I have no idea. Honestly, I'm not going to try it, but because I can't remember how it's pronounced. But either way, you draft him out of LSU, and for those of you that don't know a lot about him, he was supposed to be a top pick in the draft, I think, like 2 years ago, and then he just kind of fell off. I'm not sure if that was due to injury or really just his draft stock happening to go down. And either way, I don't think he should have entered the draft. I think he should have stayed at LSU and kept playing. But he got drafted very, very late. I think like 6th or 7th round or something. Ridiculously late compared to where he at once was projected to go. And I don't think he's really impressed in training camp. His pre-draft stuff, I don't think his athleticism was really off the charts. I don't think his speed was really off the charts. So I don't really know what to make of that. I'm just going to kind of stick with 4 receivers: Juju, Devontae Parker, Tyquan Thornton, and Kendrick Bourne, who is already a proven receiver. And then you have Mac Jones, Hunter Henry, and then Mike Gesicki. That's a pretty good offense. But now we're going to get to kind of I'm sure, the thumbnail about the pressure being on for Mac Jones. Because if you guys remember, way back when, at the beginning of last season, Mac Jones versus Bailey Zappi was an actual competition. People were saying, and including me, like Bailey came in, he actually looked pretty good. He let him down, and then he scored. And then I think it became clear that both were hindered by the coaching. And so at that point, you just go back to Mac Jones because he has more experience. I think if this offense is much different and Mac Jones still struggles, then you throw in Bailey Zappi and see what he can do. But the reason I think the pressure is on him for Mac is because the coaching's been changed now. Like, so you're really expected to make a change, look a lot different, and run this offense different. Even if it's not all in 1 year, at least take care of the ball more than you did last year, because I think a lot of that as well is just kind of under pressure. You can move the ball, just try and make something happen, and it just didn't happen. But I like this Patriots offense. I think it is underrated. I don't want to overrate it by talking about it so much, but I do think it's underrated. I think Juju is going to have a bigger impact than I thought at first as well. I'm not sure how everybody else views him, but I thought he was just kind of like a pickup, to be honest. But honestly, on this offense with Mac Jones, I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity. I hope Tyquan Thornton can do a lot as well. I think there's a lot of potential there. But again, Ramondre Stevenson, Very dynamic running back. He was great in the receiving game. He was great in the rushing game. I had him in a few of my drafts I did, like, I think last June. I got him, like, the 6th round. Turned out to be a huge steal. So I'm a big fan of Ramondre Stevenson for that. But he's a really fun player to watch as well. So this offense can seriously do a lot of great things. That brings us to kind of the end of this video, is the division they're in. Every game is going to really, really have to count, which obviously it does across the entire league for every team every year. That's why football is so cool, because every week matters so much, because there's not 82 games in it in the season. But for the Patriots division specifically, the AFC East, you have the Bills, the Jets, the Patriots, and why can I not Bills, Jets, Patriots, Dolphins. Okay, I was so okay. Anyway, you have those teams, all very, very good teams, all, I mean, potential playoff teams. Let's be real, but the AFC is so competitive that, like, if you fall to third in this division, then you're fighting other teams in third in other divisions to get in that wild card spot. And third place in a division in the AFC is still a great team. I mean, that could be like even the Steelers in the AFC North or the Browns in the AFC North. Still great teams. I could say AFC West, but I'm a little hesitant because I'm not sure how. Honestly, we'll throw them in there. You have the Chiefs, you have the Raiders, you have the Broncos, and you have the Chargers. I don't think I said them already. So, like, again, a team in third could be a very solid team, and you're fighting for that wild card spot. So it's going to be tough for the Patriots because you're in such a very tough division. I think the best thing for them, though, is that their defense is already so good and so proven that you don't have to worry about that. You even draft Christian Gonzalez. I mean, your defense should be absolutely set. I would not worry about it in the slightest. I would worry about this in the sense you need things to happen, because if not, then Mac Jones is going to be looked at a lot worse as, like, maybe he is the problem. In my opinion, I think Mac Jones does have potential to be able to be a long-term quarterback, but it's just all going to depend on what he does this year. But I think, lucky for him, all the things are in the right spot for him. So thank you guys for watching. I do really appreciate it. This was kind of the Mac Jones video, obviously. I cannot even remember who's next. I'm not going to lie. I was going to tell you guys I cannot remember, but that'll be out just tomorrow. And like I said, some days will be probably double uploads, and I'll let you know when that is. Still doing the tier list videos, of course. I'm going to do a wide receiver rankings and a running back rankings for sure. If there's any other rankings you guys want to see, let me know down below. Madden 24 comes out August 15th. So for all my Madden viewers, we are getting very close for Madden to be back up. And at that point, it's going to be Madden and NFL very consistently. I know right now it's kind of NFL heavy. It'll balance back out. So for my NFL viewers, NFL will stay pretty much the same, and for my Madden viewers, I'll pick up as well. So thank you guys for watching. We're now up to, I think, 415 subscribers, so thank you guys for all that. If you guys enjoy football, whether it be Madden or NFL, I cover both, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.